Wednesday, the 16th. I'm going to show you a trade that was ill-advised, knowing it, was able to get out of it, but it's a losing trade. And let's just look at how you could say, come on, you should know better. I'm going to walk you through it. First of all, I was bullish coming in to the market kind of failing here and coming up. And so while it was just a choppy and a slow session, we got above this white line, which is the VWAP, and this yellow line, which is the open. So I'm kind of bullish as it is. And I try to actually get long closer to the VWAP for this rally. I don't get long, so I see something after it leaves this little box here. This is a little consolidation box where it's banging around, right? Starts to leave it, and I see something else that I thought could it be the top of a head fake, and then they could shoot back down, and then if it kept going, great. If not, I could get this little bit of a head start. So I'm trying to predict too much. I'm trying to predict the top of a head fake because I seen a qualifier in here. Well, the qualifier didn't match up with the bias. I knew my heels were against the heel. My heels were on the cliff because we could keep advancing, above the third or fourth time to a rotation. So it wasn't a winning trade. Now, I didn't hold on to it forever, and I managed it well, because if I didn't, look what would have happened. If I stayed in it looking for a break even or something, it just never came back, and eventually ran up again. So you don't want to fall in love with the trade either. So then the second thing that caught my attention, which was better, with these rotations, I think you could see it better on this chart real quick. Do you see how the market goes from rejecting this low? Now, you don't know it rejected the low down here, but you start to see it when you're up in here, and you say, okay, market's strong. If it gets above all these highs here, it could go. It does. Fine. The first time it rejected a high, it threw out a red edge zone, which shows you speed coming off the top. The next thing is we're chopping around a little bit, and they go and try to get it, and they come off of it. And I had said to the room, and someone had asked me why, and I went over this earlier. Quick rejection, they test it and fail. So when it got back into this area is when I said I think the highs could be in, at least temporarily. And so the market come back down. I figured that this would have been better support, and that's fine. You cover above there. The middle of this would have been support, and it was. If I take this box right in here in the middle of it, worked as good support in here as it banged around. And then is it a surprise that it leaks out the bottom of this? Here, I'll draw it a little bit more precision. Shade it. Look at this box. Comes out the bottom of it and advances lower. Shouldn't surprise you. This is another reason, or when I say heels on the cliff, if you're trying to buy it down here, just know your heels are on the cliff, and you could get rushed and fall over. If you're trying to sell it near the top of a range, your heels are on the cliff. Same thing if you're trying to do it there. But the first thing is understand the patterns and the fights and the congestion boxes and know where you're at on the map. So if you're trying to sell it above it, know it could advance, get the hell out, and reorganize. The other thing I said, I think that helped people because of the responses I got in the chat was, after you get out of a trade, sometimes it's a long trade, you scratch it, and you hope it doesn't go up because that'll get you mad that you scratched it and it would have been a winner. Don't worry about hoping what happens after you get out of it. Move on to the next idea. Move on to the next trade. Worry about this trade when you go back to review if it was good, bad, or okay, if it was within your strategy. Stop worrying about what would have happened if you had stayed into it. The analogy is you went on a date. She didn't invite you back up. Maybe your breath was bad. Maybe you're a bad kisser. But that's it. The date ended at her door. She ain't going to call you back anymore. It's over with. Go on to the next date. That's what trading is all about. Go on to the next trade.